Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Heart and Hustle podcast.
Hello.
So the big question is this. How are leaders like you that recognize people and technology are the backbone of the company they're building continue to make progress when they have no clear idea on how to develop individuals and utilize technology in a way that helps them remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome to the Heart and Hustle podcast.
Tonight we've been lobotomized. Is that the right word?
Is that what you're feeling tonight?
I don't know.
Kind of feeling that way?
It's just those nights you don't feel very energized.
Yeah.
Tonight is one of them.
You know, we were just outside and it's 20 degrees out and there's snow everywhere and it's foggy.
It's foggy.
And it's been dark for like 52 hours, it feels like. And it's just like, it's that point in winter where we're just like, ugh.
You just got done riding the tailgate down to the end of the driveway.
I did. I rode the tailgate, pulling the garbage down the half-mile driveway.
Yeah, and we're leaving. We're leaving in exactly to the minute, 24 hours from now, back down to Florida. So we just can't wait.
Yeah.
So
looking forward to a little bit of reprieve from the 20, 30 degree weather.
Yeah.
Looking forward to some sunshine. Still gets dark early down there, but
yeah.
Looking forward to sitting on decks and porches and just sunshine.
Yeah.
It's not deceiving sunshine.
Exactly.
This morning you were talking about, man, it's so deceiving out. It's so bright and sunny and it looks like it should be about 85 degrees and it's like 17 degrees.
Be it known to not many, we created another sitting room in our home. Not that we have 82 of them, but in our bedroom we added a few more chairs. And I'm sitting in one of the chairs looking out the window, and you can't see the ground. You can see the trees. You can see the
beautiful blue sky.
Yeah, the blue sky, the trees, and on those particular trees, there's no leaves, so you can't see the snow by any means, but it looks like it's nice outside, and it's very deceiving, and, it could be 45, maybe 50, and it's like probably 18.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah, it was cold.
But back to focus. Last week we met with a wonderful company in Minneapolis, and up there it was again cold.
Yeah, they had like 20 inches of snow.
Yeah, they had a pretty big snowstorm the week prior, or maybe a few days prior. So when we got up there, roads were pretty clear, but there was still quite a bit of snow up there. But we met with them, and it was kind of nice. We were able to kind of focus with them and have a good retreat. Kind of an offsite with them in a really nice hotel, actually. It
was real nice.
It was really nice, and
it's so different than anything I've ever seen.
It was, and they were, I think, kind of taken back for a moment because I think they kind of wanted to meet inside their building, inside their company, to kind of meet about and really focus on their organization and kind of retool for the year. And we're like, nah, we're gonna kind of pull you guys off site for a little bit and kind of figure on their growth and what they're going to kind of focus on for the next 90 days, maybe 180 days, and kind of, retool where they were kind of going at. And, so it was a good focus day and good focus meeting, I guess. And
it was good.
Yeah.
It was a good reminder for me just to, step back, get out of the daily, everyday weeds of just the daily grind and dream. Like, what do we want in 3 years? What do we want in 5 years? It was just a good reminder to be able to just make sure to step back and focus on the big picture. We get so bogged down and stuck in the weeds that sometimes we can't even see past the trees.
Yeah. It was amazing, like things that come, very, I'm not going to say simple, that's not the right word, but things that are oftentimes, in front of our faces that are just sitting there that others just really can't see. Mm-hmm. So, I hate that word. I hate the word metrics. I hate the word scorecards, but, setting those goals and setting those, daily achievements and, really trying to hit those on a weekly basis and to really try to grow the company and kind of seeing those metrics, from a week to week, month to month basis. So,
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there with our own company too. I think it's a challenge though. It's challenging, and I think that's why a lot of companies avoid it or don't do it, because it is a challenge to sit down and do some of those things on a regular quarterly basis just even to come up with, okay, what are our critical numbers? What matters to us when it comes down to it? What do we want to see at the end of the day? And it takes a lot of focus and thought and intention, and it's not easy to come up with, especially when you have multiple different areas of your company that you're focused on, whether it's, like for us, it's IT, it's media, it's HR. Like, what are our numbers?
Yeah.
What matters to us?
Yeah. And, we were talking about this. Our weekends are so boring sometimes talking about this junk, but, there's always an out. There's always but, there's always a thing that, disrupts that number. There's always something that
we were talking about that last night. Like, when any of the numbers we've used over the last 5 years, like, you can always, but this, but that, but this number is skewed by that, but this number isn't really valid because of this reason. And you can excuse or validate numbers all the day long. How many times do they do it in media?
And then you go down this rabbit hole, and does it really matter? Does it really matter? Does it really matter if that metric works or not? Does it really matter if you answer the phone that quickly or not? Does it really matter if you respond to an email as fast as what you say that you do? Does it really matter at the end of the day? And there's multiple varying viewpoints.
Multiple.
Is the customer happy? Yes. Do you get the complaints from a client? Yes or no? Did you meet the expectations? Yes or no? At the end of the day, if the clients are happy, they're happy. Did you meet the expectations? Yes or no? You can get down to critical numbers. But I think the real cause is that oftentimes, if not most oftentimes, employees and staff really need to have, and they really want, not from an employer's point of view, but from their point of view, they really want to know where they stand. They really want,
how we doing,
expectations set.
And what are our expectations?
Yeah, for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what employers want to set. And they need to set expectations, but employees really kind of want to know where they stand and where they need to measure up to. Now, there are some employees that just don't really give a damn. And at the end of the day, I get it. But I think by and large and on the whole, most of them do want to know where they stand and where they fit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the basics have to be there. But I do think that there are some metrics out there. I do think that there's some companies that will get very, I'm not sure if overt is the right word, but they'll get crazy with the metrics. And they'll get crazy with the metrics as it pertains to, folks in like call centers and services, to the point where it puts so much stress on individuals where they just can't meet those goals and those expectations. Now, albeit sales personnel and individuals in certain areas where they are, where they got to meet quotas, and they're driven by performance goals, kind of a different thing. That's kind of how they're set up to succeed, I think. But individuals that are, kind of in the services side, and I can speak freely inside that world, and it's kind of where I play, I think it causes a lot of stress and a lot of unneeded stress, and therefore causes a lot of turnover. And I think when you do that, it just doesn't create a happy, positive environment, and therefore causes individuals, I guess just to exist, and therefore causes unhappy customers. So I don't know.
I think that depends on the numbers that you're using, and it depends on the and how you're using them.
Well, what I mean by that is that if you put too much stress on people to not spend the time with the clients and to take those calls and be patient with them and be positive with them, then at the end of the day, you're forcing them to work quickly, to essentially be at a point that they have to answer more calls, take more calls, and be rapid fire with those customers, and therefore force them off the phones. And that's I'm not gonna say that's how most work. It's just that's not how we work.
Right.
I'd much
There's
rather
a difference between
Yeah,
those metrics and
it is
good customer service,
It
which
is.
can't always be metric-fied.
Yeah, and it's not really. I hate to say this. It's not about good customer service. It's just amount of patience. I'd rather be just very patient with people and very just, I don't know, open and honest and just be present with them. And if that takes an extra 3 or 4 minutes with somebody else, but that causes a 3 or 4 minute delay with somebody else, then that ends up being my problem. And if that means I have to staff the support desk with an extra person and therefore pay an extra salary or two in order to have that, then that's what we have to do. So I don't know.
Well, and that's, in a sense, why those numbers can be helpful also,
Yeah.
because it's not just a tool as to how that employee is doing. I mean, you use those numbers for where are we at? Are we staffed appropriately? Do we need more staff? Do we have a bunch of staff that we don't need? I mean, those numbers are helpful in a multitude of ways. So,
Well, then it becomes, I'm not going to say it's a sales tool by any means, but, but then you're arguing, I shouldn't say that word. You're not arguing. You're defending at times your prices with customers, because then you get inside those conversations on like, why are you raising your prices or you're lowering your discounts or whatever it is. And, you have to defend it on, well, these people here may be cheaper or these people here may be, less expensive or whatever word you're trying to use. And now you're trying to say, well, our service technicians are more patient. They're more, they work with their clients on a much deeper level. They're spending more time on the phone with them because, we're trying to really get to the resolution, and sometimes it may take longer and so on and so forth, not because that we're slower, just because, we're a lot more patient. So that's a hard conversation to have too. So
Yep.
we're not automated. We're not an IVR system, it's live answer. So that is also a difficult conversation to have with others too. So I don't know. I don't know. It's not about how quick you can answer the phone and how to set those metrics, I guess. So that's why for me, when you talk about those conversations with others and other businesses, metrics for one company don't always mean that's the same value or the same metrics for another services-based company.
not
So-
at all. I think that goes back to, where we start with every company is their vision and values and what's important to them and their mission, and even those critical numbers come back to that.
Yeah.
And that's why that whole thing is so important. But
As you said that, I mean, I didn't think of that until you just said it, but even with Soren, our number one value is legacy over currency. And as you said that there, it just kind of brings it all back together. It's always legacy over currency forever. So we will always be known for what we do. And it's not about money. So
Yep.
never will be.
So although those critical numbers are important and have their place,
Yeah.
they'll never be
The
the end all be
No,
all.
Not for us.
But we'll use them to our advantage in the areas that we can and grow in the areas that we can, but they're never the bottom line.
Yeah,
The
but-
bottom line is always, are our customers happy
Yeah.
and
But-
are our employees happy?
Yeah. But within Heart and Hustle, the companies that we do work with, from the strategy and the consulting side of that organization, that doesn't always exist either. I mean, many of those organizations, it is about the numbers. It is about the raw metrics. It is about
It
you
depends
know,
on the company, for sure.
that sustainability. It is about meeting those metrics. And the goals are important, and if the staff and the employees of those organizations are not meeting those numbers, there's hell to pay. I mean, that's how they're set up, and that's
Means a job or not a job.
it does.
But again, it goes back to that company's particular vision, values, mission, what they're there for, what they're there to achieve in life.
It does.
So,
It's their production.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's different with every company we work with. So,
Weird.
yeah. Companies are like individuals. They all have their own personalities and everything. So,
Yeah. Well, maybe some off to Florida, and
off to Florida.
yeah.
Warmer weather.
Are we gonna podcast out there? We don't have all this nice equipment down there.
We don't have the nice equipment, but we do have a nice iPhone. I think
Yeah.
we could probably do it.
Yeah, we probably
We'll
should.
see.
Oh well, we'll check out. Maybe head down
Maybe
there.
we can do it from the dock that we normally sit at and just listen to the birds go by, and we'll see.
I think it's a good idea. So, all right, we'll check out for now. Go down there and enjoy the weather, and go from there.
Bye.
See you guys later. Bye.